guys. Let's talk about Rig Expert. Now, I'm not saying that they're no good. However, on one hand, it's a good piece of equipment. On the other side of the coin, the distributor for the country, who I believe is in California, or that's what they addressed themselves as when I called, is a little to be desired. Now, I bought the rig. It was working fine. And then all of a sudden it wouldn't turn on anymore. I could hit the power button all day and it doesn't want to turn on. On. It doesn't turn on. Got a problem. So now this has been on charge overnight. So I'm going to plug this into the bottom. We'll wait a second. So meanwhile, while we're waiting for that to energize a little bit, I call up California and I'm saying, this thing isn't working right. And where'd you buy it? I bought it from you. Oh, you didn't buy it from us. We don't sell direct. I says, well, this is the same number I called when I ordered it. Well, what's your name? I give him the name. Oh, yeah, you did buy it from us. Oh, okay. Hello. And there's a little bit of an attitude. Now, it could be just them. Who the hell knows? But anyway, I told them that I'm having a problem with it, that it doesn't want to turn on unless it's plugged in. I said, and it just started doing that not too long ago. He goes, yeah. He said, well, send it back and we'll take care of it. I said, all right. He says, however, it's not under warranty. It's 7 weeks over. Now, he's looking at the sales slip. I haven't got my sales slip. I have no idea where it is. It may be in my notebooks. Anyway, he said, but it's 7 weeks past the warranty, so therefore I got to charge you. I go, what? He goes, yeah. He says, I'm sorry. I said, 7 weeks, you're going to break my... Yeah. So we're talking a little bit, and he says to me, well, we've been having problems with them where the battery inside boats up or holds up against the case. So if you open this up, you'll see that behind the case, there's a connector with a couple of wires. Well, instead of making the wire long enough to go around the case, they just went from point A to point B. So when you put the top on it, it's crushing the wire. And where it's crushing it is on the negative side. So it's crushing the positive lead to the negative lead. And it shorted out. So this is what he's telling me. So I says, oh, all right. Well, okay. So if I got to send it back to you, he says, well, once we get it, we'll see what's wrong with it, and then we'll figure out what you're going to owe. Well, don't you have like a flat rate on these things or something? But I got nowheres with this guy. Other than him telling me what might be wrong with it, because they've been having problems with it. And that's when I says to him, well, if you're having problems with that, don't you think, 7 weeks from something that I bought from you directly, that you couldn't oversee it and take care of it, seeing that I got to pay the shipping? No, we don't think. If we did that to everybody, we'd be out of business. So anyway, okay, goodbye. I hung up. I opened it up. Sure as shit, the wire was going across over the ground side, and it was crushed, and the bottom side of it was shorting out against the ground. So I disconnect that wire, and I added a new wire. I'm sorry, we got a new puppy here that we're looking after, and apparently it doesn't understand. Shut up. Anyhow, so I replaced that wire. Well, even then it didn't want to work unless I plugged it in. So at that point, it was one of those things to where, okay. Well then, I unplugged it to put it back in the case, and it was still staying on. So I said, well, it's not too bad, I guess. If I have to plug it in to turn it on, then I can unplug it and still use it portable. How long is it going to stay on, and yada yada yada. So anyway, that's what. And the next thing you know, it stopped doing that. So right now it's plugged in to a USB hub right there, so it's not really on a charger, even though it is. And hopefully it'll turn on. Okay, there she is. Now, when it does work, it works good. I like it. When it was working fine. But it had a malfunction from the junction. Basically, this was a problem that they knew about, and they don't want to take care of it unless they get paid for it. And I think that was wrong. So the wire's fixed. Apparently, there's a part someplace that blown out on the DC side. Now, if I unplug it now, it shuts off. Now, this has been plugged in on its charger overnight. Now, I'm trying to turn it on now. Nothing. So for that reason alone, I don't think I'd ever buy another Rig Expert. Because you want to be able to use this thing portable. I don't want to have to carry around a battery pack and keep it plugged in order to use it. I have a cheaper $100 Chinese piece of crap that works fine. So what I do is I use that one. I don't even bother with this one anymore. Now, when I first got the other one, I had this one plugged in and I was using it, and I compared it. Well, in the bands that I was using it on and checking it on, they were spot on. There wasn't any difference between them. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to use the other one for now. And that's what I do. So when it comes to Rig Expert, or in this case, I got the Zoom 230, the AA230 Zoom. It's a good unit when it's working. But if you have a problem, this joint in California that claims that they're the importer of all these things, kind of says, oh, I'm sorry. And that's supposed to be okay. You know, especially when they knew there was a problem. You know, really. So instead of fixing it, you know, and talking to the manufacturer, say, listen, you know, you got this problem, we're doing something here, give us a little bit of break, you know, meaning them for putting their time into it. And if the manufacturer said, no, well, wait a minute now, you're still the distributor for these things, apparently, the importer for these things, apparently. You're selling them out of your building, but don't even know that you're selling them, because you're telling me that I didn't buy it, and then when you looked it up, you found out that I did. You know, so at this point, don't you think maybe 7 weeks in, even a little bit further than that, if you know it's a problem, and it's been a problem, why can't you fix them and eat it? You know, what's it going to take you? You know what it is. Yeah, I mean, really, you put somebody on it, and you fix them all. You probably fix 15, 20, 30 of them in a day or more. So you're paying one guy labor for a day, and you're taking care of a lot of customers that are counting on you. But no, definitely bad business. So at that point, I don't know if I'd ever buy another one, because you can't trust the unit, nor can you trust the importer or whoever they're supposed to be at this point. And that's where that's at. So that's the story about my rig.